Welcome to the Smart Local Digital podcast, videocast, and Facebook Live. I have a special guest today with me. That's Jairo J. Aguilar, Century 21 Realtor. How you doing, man?
Good morning. Good, man.
Yeah, Saturday morning, off to the races. And I wanted to bring you in because you're my star pupil. You are the star example that I always tell potential real estate agent clients of mine or brokers of what they should be doing to capture new customers through social media and keep the rapport and the relationship with past customers and getting those referrals. So I think you're an all-star at social media marketing. So I think that'd be definitely perfect for the listeners to really get something out of it. So starting off, I guess I'd want to say you have the three main channels. You have your Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Correct, yeah.
How do you leverage each one differently?
Well, yeah, I definitely use each one a little bit differently. Like Facebook is, I think it's just a little bit more personal. I mean, I don't like to post so much personal stuff anyway, but I feel like with Facebook, I feel like it is more friends and family or past clients that are on Facebook. So I definitely put maybe more like that Christmas picture, that family gathering. And as far as like real estate content, sometimes I will put, that family that just got the house. Usually if we take a picture with a just sold sign, I will put
first-time home
buyer or recurring, then usually those are the ones that I will put on Facebook. Just more appealing, more family. I will post regular ads that sometimes I will put on all three platforms, but I feel like I keep Facebook a little bit more personal. I might put a picture of myself, my wife, my dogs, or family. So.
And how do you find that? I know this is a lot of realtors express this concern. How do you find that fine balance of how much personal is too personal?
Yeah, I guess it all depends. I know with Facebook, people, how it goes. Some people express their feelings, which is okay. I'm not really like that. I've always kind of say, hey, personal life is personal, so I don't post a lot of that kind of stuff. But I also think that, man, people do want to see you like you're a normal person. You definitely just not all business, because we're not all business. We all, even though sometimes it seems like it, we do have regular lives, and so more. I'll put like pictures of maybe like travel or just fun things that I enjoy doing. Right. So those are the kind of stuff that I like other people to see or share.
Right, that makes sense. And you've told me before that you have someone who a lead who meets you through social media is a much warmer lead than is someone who just saw your flyer or whatever the case may be. And I personally think that it's because you're starting to build a rapport with them. You're starting to build a relationship with them digitally where they feel like they know you already. So that's for Facebook. What about Instagram and Snapchat? What do you do in those platforms?
In Instagram, I do use them a little different. And I think with Facebook, again, it's more, they're actually friends or they're actually past clients or, maybe people I went to high school with for long term. With Instagram, more with the hashtags, it could be, people around the world or different things. So they're not maybe too personal. They might not know you as well. So therefore, sometimes I won't post as much personal stuff, my dog or barbecue, they more like real estate related content or travel, more fun stuff, more, I guess if you can say more like a painting that you want to put yourself.
Your persona.
Yeah, your persona.
You personify yourself a little bit more on Instagram.
Yeah, okay. On Instagram, just because, again, what do people want to sell? What am I? But I will put the just sold picture on there. Sometimes, I will put that family picture on there. And I do get, even California, I try to branch off because as an agent, not just in my area, but I do some in California. So I post more content where maybe it appeals to more people than just, my audience.
Right. And I think you even showed me an example of a realtor that was out of your county that reached out to you through Instagram. I think they were based in Southern California.
Yeah.
Said, hey, I need a realtor that I can team up with in Northern California because I have a property. Can you take it over? And that was through Instagram, right?
Yeah. I've had quite a few like that. And that's I think awesome. Because, they do see, hey, wow, this guy is working. And that's the thing, you have a feel of what you actually do. People, I do sell homes, but what does it take? What effort are you really putting into this business? So I feel like that's a good way of knowing, and that has, even me, myself, sometimes I'll reach out to other agents. I met some investors from Southern California just through social media. They see my content. They see, wow, this guy's working. He's doing this or he sells that. And I just, gives that, how can I explain? It just gives a little bit more of a picture of what you actually do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's that. I think for the realtors listening, and business people in general, but for the realtors listening, I think that's a good perspective to put it, because I think a lot of the realtors are putting it in a frame of, this is for customers, this is for buyers, this is for sellers, but this is actually working out as joint business partnerships
Yeah.
too, from other realtors who are looking at you, seeing what you're doing, and then you're building your authenticity and saying, hey, this is a real estate agent I could depend on, that I'm going to reach out to if I ever need support
Yeah.
with that. Let's talk a little bit. I have another question, but before we get there, I want to talk a little bit more about the Snapchat. So how does that work? Because I think a lot of agents and a lot of business people don't really actually have that in mind. It's always Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter,
Yeah.
but Snapchat could definitely bring that. So how do you leverage that? How
Yeah,
do you use it?
so with the Snapchat, I feel like I was kind of the same way as maybe some of the other realtors. You know, I wouldn't use that. I was a little bit nervous adding people because it becomes personal. But I feel like now it's becoming so popular that it's just another platform for everybody now too. It's not just individual. So
Right.
it's more personal. So usually, if I get your number, I'm probably gonna add you. If you have on Snapchat, I'll add you on there. And if you add me, at least you'll see what my day is. So on my Snapchat is what you're gonna see what I'm doing on a daily, whether I'm like selling mailers or just hanging out at the office, or I'm having a Sunday barbecue. I might Snapchat that, or whatever it is. Sometimes I find showing a house and a piece of furniture is kind of interesting. Maybe I'll Snapchat that. So you get to see more of the stuff, whether it's just maybe edited or filtered content, more of the raw side,
Or a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes kind of.
And you put your dogs on there a lot.
Yeah, I put my dogs on there. I know I do. So if you see them, Sunday morning, since I'll take them out to the park, you might see my dogs on there.
Right. That's awesome. I'll put you on the spot a little bit and see, what of the 3 platforms that you leverage, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, which one do you think brings you more bang for your buck?
To be honest, it just depends. I mean, with a Snapchat, it's funny because sometimes I see people are seeing it, but once in a while I will get the inquiry. Wow, that house looks nice. How much is it? A little bit more inquiries. For a while, it was a lot of Facebook. Sometimes when I get with Facebook, it's just that, let's say I sell a client at home. They're okay. We post it together. We filter it. So sometimes it opens up the door to some of their friends that, hey, this guy maybe trusted, or So I get those real estate questions, and again, that's kind of what I use. Maybe not directly, hey, I want to buy a house, but at least they're open to the idea of asking me a question.
Right.
So it just depends, honestly. Sometimes I'll have weekly ones like on Instagram, and then sometimes on Facebook.
Yeah. But that's good too, because if someone if it's a customer or agent, if someone's coming to you for that knowledge, they see you as the expert. So you have already built that rapport enough to say, next time I need a real estate professional who knows what they're doing, you're the one in mind.
Yeah.
You're the one in mind.
And that's my goal. I know with regular marketing, and touch bases at the beginning was, you send out your mailers, which is fine. Hey, people get the mailers, but that's it. They just read that piece of paper. They just see that. But with a social media platform, they get to see a little bit more about you, not just that letter, but also your experience, maybe your knowledge, what kind of homes are you selling, what a little more in depth. So I feel like again, it's much easier for them to open out to you or reach out to you if they see that, you are performing, you are selling, you are, knowledgeable, you're professional.
Right. Have you been at a point where you're replacing traditional marketing with digital marketing, with social media marketing, or are you there kind of both? Hybrid of both?
Yeah, I'm kind of hybrid of both, because I do feel like traditional marketing works. So past clients, I do my regular mailers, but I'm not just using me on social media. It's just another form of staying in touch in front of your clients, because I am a friendly guy. So, and I care about my clients. So once you're almost like friends. So it's kind of, you see their kids' birthdays, and that's what I love about it. It's just that, wow, I sold them the house and they're my friends on Facebook, and now I see that, whoa, it's their baby's birthday, and then, wow, they're enjoying the backyard, and it just feels like a little bit more fulfilling. Like, wow, I sold them the house, they're really enjoying the backyard, like they wanted to, and that's kind of what I love about it.
And I know you for a long time. You're definitely a people person, so I'm sure you get a lot of joy out of that. And speaking in a full transparency of business, that brings you referrals, that brings you that rapport, that relationship. What was the spark for you to say, okay, I'm gonna go more into social media marketing, or was it just something natural that kind of occurred?
It almost sounded kind of just naturally, just because this is what I'm doing, and I always think of myself. Okay, if I was in the realm of like finding a house, what do I want? How can I trust a realtor? How can I find somebody? And sometimes, especially coming from like my background, my parents maybe they didn't have that exposure, didn't know too much about buying houses, so I feel like you need to kind of give a people of way or of I guess an idea why would they reach out to you, so I feel I gotta kind of almost prove it to them that hey, I do sell houses full time. This is like my profession. I am good at what I do.
Right.
And what more to show, to not just to say but to show. So this is a way of really showing what you can do.
You have this one thing that you do that I think it's amusing, it's hilarious, and it's a hybrid of that traditional marketing with the social media marketing. Is you take your flyers that are funny, you do a seasonal one, when it's summertime, you Photoshop yourself on that bod, on that summer bod. During Christmas is like the elf. You send those out to people, and then you also post them on social media. So I think that's a good thing for people listening to take away, is like repurpose what you're already doing.
Yeah.
If you're creating some kind of design, flyer, a mailer, whatever, take that digital asset and repurpose it to then post it around. I want to give anyone listening, I guess, some action items, some advice, right? Someone comes up to you and says, hey, I kind of want to get into this. I'm a realtor. I want to get into more of the social. What are the kind of the first steps that you recommend?
I feel like maybe like be yourself, honestly, because I know even it's hard, being on the podcast or in front of the camera.
Right.
Once the camera's on, you have a tendency to act or be a little bit different. But that's not really you. So just be yourself. People want to see, if you're funny, if you're serious, they want to see, you being serious. That's you in your natural state. So it just, I guess when it comes to content, be yourself. If this is what you would do for mailers or this, then it's okay. Just put it on social media. I mean, even though it's your business, I feel like it's really a way to people really get to know you. We're not all perfect. We're not robots. So it's just be yourself.
Yeah. And I think it's important to say too that you're going to find yourself as you're doing it.
Correct.
You kind of need to get in motion, and as you start creating videos, imagery, and stuff like that, you kind of start getting a natural feel of like, well, I this is forced. I wouldn't post that, or I would this.
Correct.
And it just becomes like a second thought, almost like a natural instinct to do that. I want to point something out that, and I haven't really asked you about it, but a lot of the stuff that I see you do is organic, not really paid. You don't do paid advertising on Facebook. You don't do like a post and pay for it. Am I wrong? Have you done that? Have you dabbled in it? What's your experience with that?
Yeah, and I have sometimes I do like to try different things, but I've had paid, a couple. I'll throw an ad, and just to kind of see, okay, does it work? Am I getting what kind of feedback am I getting? And sometimes I do get a little bit feedback, but I feel like usually what people want to see is the uniqueness and just like you said, maybe the more organic side. If it's too filtered, I see that people just scroll by it. Because I think of myself when I'm going there and I see ads, if it looks kind of funny, okay, maybe an ad, okay, maybe I'll click on it. But if it looks like an ad, I'm already thinking they're going to pitch me something, I pass right by it, so I feel like, I wouldn't look at it. Why would anybody else?
Right.
So I try to keep it more organic. Some things I do think about or they're thoughtful, but sometimes just in the moment, hey, that's a cool shot, or I'll just do it right now, and see and see what happens. So I guess you don't have to be too serious is what I found. Is just kind of whatever you
and that kind of goes for every realtor. Every realtor has their own personality.
Correct.
And I think we had this conversation a long time ago. We were talking about how you kind of take inventory about who your core audience is, because those people are already being drawn to you for whatever reason, because of how you dress, how you act, how you talk, or whatever the case may be. So then you kind of you can analyze it a little bit and say, okay, well, this is who I'm attracting. I'll just kind of be that or create that for that person. I would love to end it with maybe like an anecdote or something, like a story of like something that has happened business wise through social media, like whether it was a partnership that was formed that you wouldn't expect, whether it was like some referrals or anything like that, anything that kind of comes to mind.
We'll have a few of those if
Yeah,
you want to hear them. But I mean, I definitely had people, just regular people. Now, even with Instagram, you with the hashtags, they do work. I know when I'm a hashtag, they do work. I'll tag, the city where I'm from, the city where I'm located, or, just different things about the house. And I've had people, hey, I see how much is that house, or, what steps do I need to buy a house? Or clients, definitely maybe some clients. I've had which is kind of a crazy thing, but he's a pretty big investor from Southern California. And, he had commented on my name, just say, hey, he commented on my name once. He's like, oh, where are you from? And, he was in part of South America. He's like, oh, so we started just chit-chatting through social media. And he reached out to me, hey, if you ever comes with any investing and you want to kind of meet up. And, we kind of left it as is. Well, turns out around this time last year, I ended up going to Southern California with a buddy to visit his girlfriend's mom at the time. And we went to a Cuban restaurant. And he was there. So I walked by, and we didn't plan it. He just walked by, and he kind of looked at me. I gave him the stare and asked my buddy, "Hey, is that the investor?" And he's like, "Oh man, it is."
Right.
So when I reached out to him, we kind of got to chit chat a little more. And but see, we never would have met if it wasn't through social media. And he flips homes, and he does other investments in Southern California. But it just opens the door to other things that maybe your normal circle wouldn't.
Right. So right. I think what people should keep in mind is that social media was originally called social networking.
Correct. Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's a way to network on a different level, a different channel, different digitally instead of the traditional levels. Yeah. So definitely keep that in mind for the realtors. I think to sum it up, I think what you're saying is, be yourself as much as possible through social. Putting personal things doesn't necessarily mean putting your whole life story out there. More personal things like what the clients are experiencing, things that are more personal in the office, the barbecues, the interacting with coworkers, things like that. Don't try to be too formal. That's something that I know from experience through video marketing is, a video or something that gets created a little bit more of a higher production gets less interaction than if it was just something more organic, more natural. So really try to stay natural. And do you have any other action item, anything you would want to tell any listener to say, hey, this is the next step you should take, or if you're really interested in it, you should do this, you should do that?
I guess just some tips is just kind of like you said, just some of the organic stuff. And in personal life, this flyer comes to mind that actually my father-in-law received. And, he really liked the flyer. I mean, he's more old school, and the flyer was old school, but it was just, nothing wrong with the flyer. It was a nice flyer. I got some really good ideas of it. But it was a flyer from an agent, trying to ask for business. But, it had a picture of the realtor. It had things with him, like riding a bike, hanging out with his dogs, fishing, because he's an older gentleman. Right. But again, like you said, this, that was a social networking, and now it's social media. So those simple things that maybe you would want to let your hobbies when you describe yourself, those are the things that people want to see. But now with the social media, it's not just a picture or it's just a word. You can actually show, hey, I'm out fishing with my family. I'm out, things that you enjoy. Nothing's wrong with that. I feel like, just, so I would say, start posting stuff like that. If you're really happy about a deal, because trust me, we all go through those crazy deals or stressful deals. It's okay to put a little bit about it, because that's real estate. Nothing is perfect. You can post, wow, this deal was a struggle. We got it done. Or wow, this is a breeze. Let's put that up. People like to see that, and I think that's what people get the joy, because no transaction is the same, no transaction is perfect. So it's okay to post a little bit about that. Yeah,
no, that's true, and people like a narrative. They like the story. Of like, how did this come to be, et cetera, et cetera. So that's awesome. And another thing, we'll end it with just saying it's free.
Yeah, social exactly. It's free. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not having to pay for airtime, anything like that. It's free. It just takes your time. But the payoff can be great. Yeah, right. Definitely. And I think you told me just recently that you're, I think it's like 60 or 70% of your referrals are now coming through social media.
Through social media, they are. Yeah. So that's people amazing, always ask me, and then, it took a time, like you said, it wasn't just business just starts coming, but just consistency. It's
Right.
like anything, you got to be consistent.
Right.
But yeah, I would say 60 to 70% through social media. I would say maybe a couple times a week, somebody will reach out to me with something real estate related. Whether it's hey, that looks like a nice house, or hey, what about this? Or I heard this, or whatever it is.
A question about something.
Question about something, or my parents are going through this, or whatever it is. But I mean, that's what you want. You want that engagement. You want those questions. If you weren't, I mean, it's harder for people to just know you or stay on top of their mind without this.
No, before you would go knock at doors to get those conversations. Now people are knocking at your virtual door.
Virtual door.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
pretty much. So.
That's awesome. So that's Jairo J. Aguilar with Century 21 Realtor in Turlock, California. If you have any other questions regarding social media marketing in general, you can reach out to us. Specifically for realtors, reach us out at where can they reach you out?
They can reach me at gojairo.com or my email, or just hashtag. You can direct message me on any of my social platforms.
That's awesome.
So hashtag gojairo, GOJAIRO.
And then and you're good at responding back, engaging with people.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty good. I mean, sometimes if I have a busy week, I'm not on there all the time, and I don't have alerts because I would just go crazy with text messages, phones, and social media. But I mean, I do like on a daily basis, so usually I will reply within the day.
Awesome. All right. Well, check them out at www.gojairo.com. Pretty sure you can do Jairo J. Aguilar on any social network, or just Google, and you'll find Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff, man. Well, thank you very much for coming, and I hope everyone got something out of it.
Perfect. Hey, thank you guys, and thank you again for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Awesome.